Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa, and I want to come back to you guys for the final episode of Put a Ring on It, season 4 episode. Well, we could call it the reunion episode. It was the whole entire season, as I've said before, has been boring. It's not been a very eventful season. So with seasons like these, you kind of have to push through because it's like, I don't want to watch this. But anyways, it wasn't bad. It was cute. So the reunion, first they spoke on the couple that left, Chance and Dunbar, and they went through everything. They did a whole review, including, not review, but they did like a whole recap, including the one where they decided to leave, and the cast members had things to say about it. They felt as if they were not ready for the work. They feel like they were running away from the bigger issues and stuff like that. It's really funny how when you put yourself in a position to do better, it's easy for you to notice when other people either don't want to do better, or other people feel like we're not ready for what comes with the therapy. Because we saw Dunbar opened up and broke down and spoke on him being afraid to lose Chance and being afraid to be abusive, because that's what he saw around him and stuff like that. But either way, I think they made good assessments. Now let's get back to the people on the stage. Alright, so let's talk about Joya and Jaysha first, because that's who they went to first. They recapped everything, all the dates, the most, prominent dates, the most offensive ones. And for Joya, her most offensive date happened to be that guy. What's his name? I don't even know what his name is. Jabari or whatever. And he made a statement about single mothers and them, him being too high value for single mother, and that's what turned Joya off. And he was on 10 at the reunion. He was sticking 10 toes deep. He was 10 toes down for his opinion. He did not care who said what. He thinks how he thinks, and that's that. You may not respect his opinion, but him being able to stand 10 toes down on whatever he felt like he believed in, you kind of have to respect that. Because a lot of people are people pleasers, and the moment other people disagree with their perspectives, it's almost like, oh well, let me just, pander to that to de-escalate the situation. But he was like, no, I'm sticking to my point, and then I'm even adding more fire to it to make people more annoyed at me. So he just doubled down on it, and Joya is like, so how could you say all these about single parents when your mother was a single mother and she raised you? And he's like, to be fair, he experienced single motherhood, but as a child, and it's different from experiencing single motherhood as a single mom dating a guy. So I guess it's different perspectives, but I saw what Joya was trying to tell him, like, you can't criticize what you came from. But I think maybe he has some internal resentment for the way he was brought up. Maybe he did want his father in the picture, and maybe for him, he does not want to go back to that type of lifestyle, and maybe that's why, he's being so adamant about not wanting to date single parents. Now, somebody said something in the comment section that made perfect sense, which was essentially, okay, his opinion is his opinion and he's allowed to have it, but it's just the way that he delivered it was a bit disrespectful and very much kind of like, I don't care what anybody feels, it's kind of dismissive of other people's feelings and opinions on the situation. Jaysha stepped in, tried to say a couple things. I thought Jaysha was gonna get in his A at some point, but he didn't. They both did not. They both didn't stoop to his level. They were like, okay, if that's what you feel. Joya even said, I still see something good in you. Maybe you still have some good qualities in you. All the best, and so on and so forth. Now, the host, I guess she got offended and she was like, coming at him. I feel like hosts should be neutral. I feel like as much as somebody says something that might be offensive, I don't feel like you should push your opinions on feelings onto that person. Like a lot of people you offended to speak, but I maybe because she was a single mom herself, I don't know, but she was offended and she was coming at Jabari, and I was like, okay, let's move on. So they spoke about Joya's other date, which is the boy Luther, and about all these good things Luther did, and the host is talking about he has all these people, this fan club. I want to know where the fan club is, because I haven't seen any fan club for him. Granted, he was a great date to have and very thoughtful, and I guess he is, based on what we saw, a picture of what women want their daughters to date, and pictures of a man that other women would be very interested in dating. And then they asked Joya, like, would she be interested in Lufa if, like, Jaysha didn't propose? And she's like, yeah, I was open to, seeing him again. She was trying to say it in the most respectful way. They even spoke about, like, the conversation she was having with Lufa, which were very spicy. And she's like, oh, she's having fun. Oh, she's enjoying the process. Okay. So that's that for that couple. It was good. It was all right. So let's go to the next couple. We're going to Catherine and Ricky. So Catherine and Ricky, as the host said, is the first couple on the show that have ended the show the same way they started the show, which is still being undecided on what they want to do. Typically, by the end of the show, you either go your separate ways or you are engaged. Like, there's no, oh, let's just stay how we were before. It kind of speaks to the fact that they were not ready for marriage, and they also were not ready to let each other go. They're like at a very stagnant place. If you have to really make sure it's the right decision, it's sounding as if he doesn't really want to make the decision, Ricky. It feels as if he's just comfortable either being in this stagnant place or her going where she wants to go. I feel like he's okay with these two options, but I feel like he doesn't want to get married. And at this point, he's just swinging her along. Well, he doesn't have to work that hard to swing her along because she's willing, but it's like, what's happening here? So Catherine is essentially saying she's broken and she doesn't want that to leak into a marriage. So as much as she is disappointed that he didn't propose, she understands why. And Mr. Marcus was doing a whole lot talking about he wants to come back to get Catherine. Catherine is not going anywhere. Catherine is sticking by Skinny Ricky. So despite his looks and his charm and everything, she's gonna stick beside Ricky, period. So I guess that's why Ricky wasn't really threatened by Marcus. Even though 9 out of 10 women would pick Marcus any day of the week, but he knows she's not gonna go anywhere. So that's why I didn't say much, although it was kind of disrespectful. And also he also spoke on Catherine talking about the romance department and some personal things she shared with him that I guess Ricky has shortcomings when it comes to, which I feel like was used to further jab Ricky, which is kind of childish. But Ricky was like super nonchalant, which is his demeanor the whole season. So at some point, because Catherine wasn't really piping up and saying anything when Marcus was kind of disrespecting Ricky, and she feels like it's two men arguing, it's not her place to join in. But that woman with the red hair that was going out on dates with Ricky, she felt differently. She felt like if someone is attacking your man, you should be defending him, you should be coming at him. But I agree with Catherine. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be like, let them argue, because I feel like Catherine doesn't have to say much. It's very clear where she would rather be. She's sitting next to Ricky. It's not like they're sitting far away from each other. They're holding hands. So she's making it really clear. As much as Marcus is making himself look like a clown at this stage, she's sticking beside Ricky. So I don't think she had anything to say. It's just people with two different styles. But I wouldn't necessarily say Catherine's way of doing things is wrong, you know? I understand Catherine being aggravated by Sheila, like coming at her and stuff like that. But in regards to Chelsea, I don't get where the heat is coming from, because I figured they had a good relationship, but apparently she had smoke for Chelsea too. And I was like, where's this coming from? So Egypt was trying to make sure that, the baby mama, Catherine, and Ricky are at a good state of understanding. So basically, the baby mama just wants Catherine to understand their co-parenting relationship and understand that it's worked for them, and that's how they want to continue going about things. I feel like essentially what the baby mama was saying was Catherine is putting her feelings over something that works, and has been working for quite some time. So, and she agreed. Catherine says she wants transparency from Ricky, but she's also understanding the dynamic of Ricky and the ex's relationship. And maybe it's just that she just didn't know. Maybe she just needs to see and trust that it's just a co-parenting relationship. Last but not least, we have Catherine and Zay, and they talk about the situation again where he compliments the woman in front of Catherine, which pissed her off, and which, not Catherine, Jasmine. And in that situation, she mentioned that is one of the areas where she kind of felt like he wasn't ready for the next step, because he was kind of disrespecting her. So the date that went out with Zay, the flight attendant, she was speaking to the fact that, well, if you guys feel the need to invite other people into your relationship, maybe there's a level of uncommitment that's happening. And of course she disagrees, Jasmine, and she's like, no, she feels like if there is commitment and you want to test it, this is the perfect way to test it, which I guess is also true, since there's like temptation outside of this controlled environment anyway. Why not, check it, experiment, and test it in a controlled environment? So they asked Josie if he felt like, Zay is good for Catherine, which Marcus would proudly say Ricky's not good for Catherine. Catherine, but he has no place to really say that, because first of all, Jasmine didn't give him much information about Zay, so there's not much he can really go on. So likewise, he just said, I don't know him. Zay was absolutely using his dates to extrapolate information on how he should be and how he should maneuver his relationships. He never went on these dates thinking, oh, let me see if there's another possibility. He went strictly to get not information from all of the dates. That's just how he operated the situation. His intention was never to cause friction, drama, nothing between himself and Jasmine. So I guess for him to not even go to that extent, that's how he had to maneuver it. And we also learned that Miss Jasmine is to work on her patience. Alright. The flight attendant though seemed a bit pressed to me. I don't understand why they come on this show and then want to be pressed when the person they went on a date with, who's in a relationship, doesn't pick them. Like, there should be you should understand what you're getting into when you sign up for this ish. So you can't come on the reunion having attitudes. Sheila, this flight attendant, Jacoby, all of them had attitudes from being rejected, which to me doesn't make any sense, because this show, you being one of the dates on this show, is like you're inviting rejection, because you're going against history. And 9 times out of 10, the history is gonna supersede meeting a new person you barely know, you know. Wedding dates, okay, we know Joy and Jisha are getting married sometime in April, and then we know that Catherine and Zay are getting married sometime in February. In fact, they're getting married on Valentine's Day, you know. Okay, so I think that was pretty much it for this episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, what you thought about this reunion. Like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.